All praise and to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai Bahashem, Nakakadash, and the Bahana to the elder and apostle of Great Mason. Peace, blessing, and salutation to Zakiam who are pushing these truths to the four winds of the heaven. It's your brother Yeshaya coming to you again with this precept. I hope you brothers are edified. And in today's lesson, we're going to talk about court session. Right now, this time when the prophet on the highway and byway, ESAU, said, and the other nation are in court right now, man. They are on the trial, man. Amen. And this is not what do we call a jury. You got two types of court, man. If I'm not mistaken, there is something known as the jury. The jury, when you go to the jury court or whatever they call it, man. Those elders which will be listening to them there, they are very compassionate, man. Sometimes they are very compassionate, and that's why when they see certain criminals, they put them on a jury, man. See, like Esau, when they think that somebody or a criminal is very pitiful, they arrange him for the jury, man. Types of court where certain elders of the court or whatever names they call them, they'll be sitting there, and you try to convince them so that your sentence can be reduced to a minimum judgment, man. So this is not a jury, man. there is no compassionate when you are found guilty, man. And then today I'm going to talk about that guilty throne, man. So the Lord will fly with his throne, man. The throne of judgment, man. Talking about that big white chariot, man. You see, that throne, his father's throne, man, as a chariot. He will be flying on that, man, to judge the nation, man. And it will be a fearful day. So, Revelation 20 and 11, and I saw a great white throne, and him that sat out on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, there was find no place for them, man. You see, heaven and the earth fled away, man. So this is talking about as the first heaven and the first earth, man. They did fly away because of that judgment which will be coming from that chariot. I'm talking about high concentrated laser beam, man. So the earth will be renewed or cleansed with fire, man. That's why it is telling you the earth and the heaven fled away. So when the Christian reads that, they think that the Lord was talking about this earth will be done away. No, man. Verse 12, and I saw the dead, small and great, standing before God, and the book were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the book according to their work. So that book, man, that book is going into the Bible, man. That's why I told you now we are in the court session, man. Esau is being judged, and the other nation too said being judged. When the Lord comes with that white throne, man, sitting on that white throne, as the throne of judgment, and what will be happening is judgment only. The court session will be done away, man. And I told you this is not a jury court, where you expect some people, some individual to feel compassionate for you. So this is not a jury, this is a real court, man. When austere men are standing, putting you on a trial, man. And eventually Esau too said in the other nations they will be found guilty. That's why the Lord is coming with that white red throne, man. And the book, what they call the book of law, man, the constitution, the laws of this land is the scriptures, man. So that large book is talking about the scriptures, man. When we tell you don't wear stranger apparels, we are putting you on trial. Either you stop or you continue When the Lord comes with that great white throne, the throne of judgment, he will get judged. You see, when we tell Esau, Esau have already been condemned, man. So Esau is in trial, and this as a nation are in trial, man. And when the Lord will be coming back, he's coming only to judge. The court session will be over. When you can plead guilty, in that day when that chariot comes, there is no pleading guilty, man. You plead guilty so that your case can be revisited again to find you not guilty, man. There won't be such a thing, man. It was like in the time, you see, in the time when Noah entered the ark, man. Some individual, you see, some individual tried to make Noah open the ark, man, but to no avail, man. So when you see, when this second ark will be closed, there is no pleading guilty. So the Lord is coming to execute judgment, man, because the court session is over, man. Will be over at that time. So let's go on. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the book according to their work. So what book is this, man? So the Christian thinks that the Lord will be sitting on a great throne, the sinners on his left hand, and the Christian who went on church every Sunday doing the hell they want, they will be on the right hand. So the Lord will open some damning large book, and he will be reading that John, Stephen, you did this and this, you stole, you steal a spoon in this day, you committed adultery. No, man, that was not talking about that, man. That you will be standing in front of a great throne, whatever, and the Lord will open a damn large book like a mountain, and he'll be reading, you Yeshaya, you committed this sin and this sin and this sin, so stay on the left side. No, man. This was not talking about that, man. So this book which people are judged according to the things which were written in this book is talking about the law, statutes, and commandments. We telling you, don't trust in your enemy, man, because the Lord is a jealous power. You don't wanna listen, man. Every day you are going to Esau, man. You are hugging Esau, and he killed your brother, and you are hugging Esau. It's like the life of your brother are in your hand, man. You can forgive the killer. The Lord is a just power, man. He don't forgive without judgment. That's why even, let me give you an example. Apostle Paul used it to persecute the church, man, right? And eventually he repented, and he put on more work, man, because he wanted the Lord to forgive him. He knew the Lord can kill you anytime he wants, man, because the Lord is a just power, man. And in judgment, the Lord is not a respect of a person. Even if you are Apostle Paul, you are David, man, the Lord can put you to death, man. And eventually Paul was put to death, man. And the scripture tell you, man, if the Lord bring judgment to you, you get killed or whatever, like Apostle Paul was killed, man, you are paying for your sin, man. If you look it in a deeper level, man. So even Apostle Paul paid for his sin, man. King David paid for his sin, man. See, he came in reincarnation as Apostle Peter. He was killed, man. You see, even our Lord Yahushua, he paid for his sin, man, which he committed as King Solomon. So nobody will get away with this judgment. But the difference between you two said King David and the Apostle Paul, is that those are the elect, man. In this time around, their sin will be forgiven. The Lord is telling you he will forgive a multitude of sin for his men, man. So in this court session, man, the men of the Lord are putting you on a trial, man. And eventually that judgment will come, man. Because after court session, what comes is judgment. Let's go to verse 13. And the sea gave up the dead, which were in it, and the death hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works, man. So that is going into reincarnation, man. That's why the scripture tell you some will awake to everlasting shame, and some not, man. Why? Because some people will incarnate this time to be judged, to judgment. You see, as a matter of fact, let's go to that verse, man. Let's go. Daniel 12:2. And the men of them that sleep in the dust of the earth, and shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. So this scripture is going into the men of the Lord will awake into everlasting life. What does that mean? Their sin will be forgiven, man, and eventually they will be given the crown of life, man, immortality. And the two said, and these other nations they will be put to death, man, everlasting contempt. So everybody now is coming through incarnation, man. Some to judgment, but some to everlasting life. So this time around, the elect of the nation of Israel won't be punished together with the other people, man. See, so that great white throne of judgment is coming to represent that humongous chariot, man. To represent that humongous chariot, man. As a matter of fact, let's go back to Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, the same white throne, man. Now it is called the white horse here in Revelation 19, man. The throne of judgment, man. So the Lord will come with a walking throne, man. The walking throne of judgment. You see that humongous throne, man. And behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called faithful and the truth, and in righteousness he does judge. Talking about judgment, man. So the Lord is coming to execute judgment. Court session will be over by that time, and they make you all. That's the Lord for you, man. You see? Let's go to Isaiah 5:15. Let's read verse 16. But the Lord of hosts shall be exalted in judgment, because he's coming in his glory, man. His throne, man. The throne of our Lord Yahweh shall be walking on the sky, man. That humongous chariot. And the God that's whole shall be sanctified in righteousness, going to his elect, man. When the elect will be delivered, the Lord will be sanctified in righteousness, man, because of his mighty work, man. Both judgment and the deliverance, if you will. Let's go to Psalm 9. My phone is about to run out of charge, so I am trying to go faster as possible. This is Psalm 9:7. But the Lord shall endure forever, and he has prepared his throne for judgment. Going to that throne, man. What is that throne? The throne for judgment. It's talking about that humongous chariot in which the Lord will be coming with, man. And he shall judge the world in righteousness, and he shall minister judgment to the people in uprightness. So, right now we are in the court session, and the Lord, when the court session is over, the Lord is coming only to put people to death, man. To put people to death, man. Going to Isaiah. Let's see if it is Isaiah 63:15. This is Isaiah 63:15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariot like whirlwind. So this is telling you there will be no pleading your case when the Lord comes back. It will be time for judgment. That's why the scripture tells you there is time for everything. Now it's time for court, man. There is a court going on, man. You need to work hard so that you won't be found guilty in this court session. To render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Like we saw in Psalm 9 and 7, the throne of judgment. Psalm 9 and 7. I'll go back to Psalm 9 and 7. But the Lord shall endure forever. He has prepared his throne for judgment. Talking about that chariot, that humongous chariot. Let's go to Psalm 7 and 8. The Lord shall judge the people. Judge me, O Lord, according to my righteousness and according to my integrity that is in me. So everybody will be judged according to his integrity. So this will be a righteous judgment. That's why there is a difference between murder and the kill. The Lord is coming to kill, not to murder. For you vocab Malone, for you devils vocab Malone, who don't even know how to distinguish between murder and a killing, man. Righteous judgment, man. This is Psalm 37 and Psalms 37 and 38. But the transgression shall be destroyed together, and the end of the wicked shall be cut off. But the salvation of the righteous in the Lord, he is their strength in the time of trouble. So the time we are approaching, the time of trouble, when judgment will begin to ensue, when the court session is over, the Lord will be the hope of his elect, but the wicked will be cut off, man. The scripture are on point. The scripture are always on point, man. To prove and further my point, let's go to Matthew, man. Matthew 24. Matthew 24. And let's start at 31 first to see. Let's start at set. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, talking about that throne, man. It's the throne of judgment, that humongous chariot. And then shall all the tribe of the earth mourn, and they that shall see the Son of Man come in the cloud of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels a great sound of the trumpet. They shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other, man. While the angels are gathering his elect, they will be putting people to death, man. And then verse 30 is telling the tribe of the earth shall mourn. Why? Because the Lord will be putting a lot of people to death, man. Let's jump to verse 40, man. So the angels, when they will be sent to gather the elect, they will be doing something else, man. Putting people to death, man. How? Let's jump to verse 40. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, and the other left. You see? Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. When the court session is over, we don't know exactly when, but the scripture do give you a hint when all the elect will be sealed. That's when the court session will be over, man. So the Lord will bring judgment according to Matthew 24 and 40, man. Some will be caught into those chariots, some will be destroyed, man. Going back to the throne of judgment, Revelation 20, man, and 11. You see? So with that, you brothers, I hope you are edified, man. Yes, I hope you brothers are edified. On to the next. Shalom.